Hello, everyone. It's Jerry at the Fledge, and welcome to another episode of Every Damn Day. And today I'm in the sanctuary, like I have been most of the last several weeks, and got the plants growing really well. They're getting big. We're going to do a giveaway of starter plants soon, so keep an eye out for that. I'm sitting in front of my little studio I set up by our stage, got my headphones on, brown hair, brown eyes. I'm wearing a blockchain shirt that David Smith bought me a long time ago to celebrate Bitcoin's birthday, I think. So, yeah, the ate of Bitcoin. But we're here to talk about something much more exciting, and I'm bringing on my great friend, the champ, Mr. Joe Walker.
Hey, Jerry. What's going on,
How
Jerry?
you doing today?
Hey, Jerry. Jerry. I'm good. Thanks for having me on, Jerry. This is
Man,
fun.
you always have
Excited.
such great energy, man. So
I try to do, even though I don't really speak much. I don't know where I get it from.
You don't talk a lot?
I don't sleep a lot.
Oh, you don't sleep
I don't know where
a
the
lot.
energy comes from. Nah.
Yeah. What you been up to today?
I think too much to sleep. Well, I woke up, so I was alive. That's a good start. I have not yet had my tea for the day, which is odd. I usually would have a cup of tea by now. And, nothing too exciting. Checked a few emails, responded to a few emails, and then prepared myself for this episode with you today, Jerry. That was, boom, top on my list.
Oh, thank you so much. Our good friend Alex Malone, who did a great episode too, is saying, let's go. So pumping us up here. Hi, Alex.
Grand guy.
Yeah. Some of my favorite people right there.
We're trying to be the 18. Yes.
Are you?
One of mine also. Yes. One of mine also.
So before we
I
get
admire
into
that dude a lot, man. He's amazing.
Yeah, I think so too. I like his mission. I like what he's doing.
Yes.
So let's get into
honestly
you.
Say that he has changed my life since I met him. All right, let's go.
Tell us about where we love you too, Alex, or at least I do. I think he already said that though. Tell us where you were born and raised and where you went to school and what got you to doing what you're doing now.
Well, I'm a transplant here in Lansing. I've only been here. I've been here almost 20 years actually, but I'm originally from Muskegon Heights. I went to Muskegon Heights High School for a bit. I graduated from Muskegon High School. I moved to Lansing in 2004. I have been a writer as long as I can remember. My mother put a notebook in my hand when I was just a little kid. I used to like to doodle. I would draw on the table and stuff. So here, draw on some paper. And started putting some words with pictures, and I just never stopped.
One time my grandmother told me I should write a book when I was little. So I got a notebook out like that. And then I got my favorite book out and I just copied it. That's what I thought she meant.
My grandmother used to watch me sit and draw and write these little stories. I used to give them to my friends at school. And I wrote something and she got her hands on it and sent it to the mini pages, which used to be like a children's publication insert that was in the Michigan newspapers, and it got published. So that was the first time I got published. I think I was like 6 or 7. And from that day forward, I just had this hunger to be in the newspaper. I always like, writing and creating, but I knew from that day forward, like that's what I wanted. I wanted to get into the newspaper, have something that I wrote, not just be in the mini pages, but actually be in the newspaper. So when that finally happened, it was a proud day for me, just accomplishing the goal, but a proud day for my family to be able to open the Muskegon Chronicle and see an article written by me, which my first article was a full page piece. And then, a couple weeks later, here I am with a column in the Grand Rapids Press, which was awesome. It just all kind of snowballed. It was great. I went from nothing to something in like a blink of an eye. I guess. Well, it was more than the eye blink. It was a little more challenging than that. I mean,
Yeah.
we could go through the rocky parts, but let's keep it positive.
What was your column in the Grand Rapids Press about?
Well, it was just called Joe Walker on Music, and I did a lot of music reviews. I did a lot of concert coverage, a lot of event coverage. So that's generally what it was. It was my opinion on whatever was happening musically during the week. Um, I started to branch out years later, but in my early days, I wrote strictly about hip hop.
I was going to ask you, like the Grand Rapids scene is a lot of punk rock. There's a lot of things in Grand Rapids that the music scene is doing. I was wondering if it was specializing in one particular genre. So
Yeah, I started out writing about hip hop, man. It's actually my career actually started in '98, and my brother and I, CJ Plays, we launched a website called thegroovespot.com, and this was one of the very first hip hop publications online, and we had the blessing and the benefit of pioneering a lot of things that people enjoy regularly, and we talk about it all the time. Like, will we go down in history and be remembered for the stuff that we did? Probably not, but the people who know, and we were just happy to be able to, we were just a couple kids, man. We were early 20s, fresh out of high school, and to be able to do that, the first online mix show, first single by a recording artist streamed online, first album made downloadable. Even though it took you an hour and a half to 2 hours to download it, it was there. It was there.
So, is that site still there? You still own that?
Yeah, it's still there. The last time we updated it is when Fife Dog from A Tribe Called Quest passed away, and everybody that was part of the site during its original run, we all came back together, and we just did a tribute to Fife Dog because we were all inspired by A Tribe Called Quest.
One of my favorites. One of my favorites. Yeah, I think I still I get songs stuck in my head, and I still get scenario stuck in my head. That right? That's Tribe Called Quest.
Yeah, that's them.
So,
here we go, yo.
Yes, exactly. It gets me motivated sometimes when I got to go do something I don't want to do. So let's talk about let's talk about what you're doing now. What are some of the projects you're working on?
Well, since Alex is in the building,
what's up, Alex?
And Alex Malone, aka Grand Kai, ALG 2012, aka Eric McLean, and I, we launched thisent.com a couple years ago. All right, our 2-year anniversary is coming up on August 5th. It's a all things entertainment website, but we focus on inspiring and encouraging content. We have some fun stuff on there. We have videos on there. A lot of gaming content from Alex and his crew and Grand Kai Gaming, Proven Esports Group. That's a big part of the foundation of this ENT, and also my weekly column that I do, Shining Example, where we interview a remarkable person and have them share a story about an act of kindness for someone that they don't know. And those two things, the gaming and the Shining Example column, were the cornerstones of this ENT and why that site was created. So we have that. And coming up this weekend on the 15th, we've teamed with One Mind Gaming for the One Mind Esports Conference. And it's going to be some great panel discussions with Javar Hodge, which is the founder of One Mind, and then Cake Monster, Grand Kai, ALG 2012, the philosopher Tavian Napier, Professor Liquid, Cody, who's the owner of Exit Gaming. We're all going to be discussing various things related to gaming, be it education, inclusion, representation, and mental health. Some things that kind of go in a wider scope of gaming. You don't see those conversations as widespread as the competitive nature of gaming or the collecting of games. So we're trying to touch on some things that that affect people more than just playing a game and having fun. There's so much more to gaming than just plugging in a controller and trying to win.
Yeah. I we Alex and I had a great conversation about esports, and I had a couple, like I had the Davenport esports coach on the show. I think that people, what you're talking about, maybe a little bit on the fringe of it. People think about gaming as purely, I guess, entertainment and not really like a
Hmm.
sport. So they would put football or basketball above esports when you say sports like that. But
Hmm.
there's scholarships uh, at stake here, and
Absolutely.
people can go to school for free for this, and there's
Hmm.
an inequity. The richer school districts have teams, they have coaches, they have labs, and the poorer school districts do not have teams, do not have coaches, do not have labs, and it puts the black, brown, and poor neighborhoods in a more in a disadvantage when it comes to scholarships. Yet again, is
Hmm.
that is that an important part of this conference?
Absolutely. The benefit and the beauty of this conference is going to be the educational aspect of it. This is for parents, and this is for casual gamers, this is for competitive gamers, and this is for people who are interested in the technological aspects of it and also the social benefits of it. And then and listening to all of these professionals speak, they'll be able to learn more about what advantages are out there, what opportunities are out there, and how to seek out those opportunities. And and the benefits of gaming are so widespread. Like what Grant Kai has been doing, it's been so beautiful with speaking with various people in the gaming community through his podcast, the Grand Kai Gaming Podcast. We subscribe to his channel on YouTube at Grand Kai Gaming, and also on thisent.com. Every Friday at 4 p.m. you can see the Grand Kai Gaming Podcast. But he talks to these people in the gaming industry, and he talks about those things that people have those questions on. How do I attain a scholarship? What type of how am I going to be treated in the gaming industry? Where are the people who are more like me that are willing to teach me what I need to learn to become the competitive gamer that I want to be, but also be the gaming professional that I want to be? All these things are important, and those things are you're going to hear a lot about that at the One Mind Esports Conference, and that's at 2 p.m. I
Oh,
didn't
at 2
mention
p.m.
the time, and that's going to
So
be
again,
2 p.m. and that's going to be on twitch.tv/One Mind Gaming.
all right. So that's going to take me for a second. Twitch.com/one
Twitch dot
mind.
dot TV,
Oh,
twitch.tv
okay.
slash One Mind Gaming.
And that's
You all
2
make sure you
p.m.
join us. Have your ears open and your heart open and be ready. It's going
Is
to be great.
does it cost to watch it, or can you
It doesn't.
participate, or?
This is
Okay.
totally free. The chat will be open, so anybody that wants to interact with us in the chat, feel free. We'll be watching, we'll be responding, and that's what makes it so great. It's interactive. It's immediately interactive. It's not like watching a conference or something on television. Technology has allowed us to be able to be more engaging now, and having this conference like this, again, it allows for us to be engaging with the people who are watching. They have something they want to say, they have something they want to comment on that they've heard. It's right there for us to see it and respond to it.
All right. So we're going to make sure that we
And you know
promote
me, Jerry.
that.
I'm going to say something.
I know you are. Um, so what else is going on? What other projects are you guys working on, or do you do some other things besides this ENT?
I do. Um, I actually write and work for a number of publications. I just started with benzinga.com as their event writer, and I'm actually working on a piece right now with Green Power Motor Company. They've been commissioned to create a certain number of clean emissions um, engines and buses and school buses. They got clean engine, totally clean emission school buses and city buses that are starting to be filtered across the country. They're doing a big rollout on the East Coast, starting in New Jersey and New York. They have their home base on the West Coast, which is really cool. Knowing that there are the number of parents who are interested in what the company is doing because of the school buses and the kids, the ramifications of breathing in that exhaust and to be able to have a school bus that's totally emissions free. It makes for a bright future. And President Joe Biden in his Clean Act, this is somebody that they're working with directly in accordance with the president. So it's pretty cool. And I was just honored to be able to do. This is my first assignment with Benzinga, and to get the story first and foremost, but then to sit down and talk to the CEO of the company and what he's doing. uh, It's just really cool. And again, the first article I wrote professionally was a review of the Goody Mob second album. My first newspaper article was about Showtime at the Apollo. My first article in the larger city newspaper was about a LL Cool J concert. And in that circle, I've been published thousands and thousands of times, Jerry, literally thousands of times. But never did I ever think that I would be sitting and talking with someone one on one from such like a Fortune 500 company. I'm a kid from the
Well,
Heights. I'm talking to the CEO of Green Power Motor Company. It's pretty cool.
yeah, that is Green Power Motor Company. I got to look them up because I've heard about the
And then
electric
along with
buses.
that, yes, hmm yeah,
So
and the
yeah,
ones they built, and the ones they're rolling out. The school bus is called the design is called the Beast, and I forget the the design name for the city bus, the EV47. No, I might be off on that. It's the EV something. I'm sorry, but you can find it on their website.
okay,
But you're talking these on one charge. Excuse me, on one charge, they get up to 150 miles on one charge. So just imagine the amount of gas that's going to save, how that's going to cut down on pollution, and the benefit of people who ride city buses and school buses, just health wise. It's great. It's
yeah.
great.
Plus the engines don't need to be maintained and repaired as much. The brakes don't need to be replaced that much because the motor slows down, not the car itself like that or the vehicle. Yeah, that's an amazing project. Um, you know,
Yeah, it's pretty wonderful, man.
when when you started out writing, well, obviously when you're a kid and you're doing your stories and all that, what did you have? What was your mission? What was your vision of what you were going to do?
Um, I think I can't say I always knew because early on I thought I would be a cartoonist. I thought I was going to be the next Jim Davis. I thought I would be the next Charles Schultz. So I really liked Garfield. I really liked Charlie Brown and the Peanuts. Really like Snoopy. Snoopy has kind of been my mascot since I was a baby, going back to toddler pictures, me holding a stuffed Snoopy. I used to wear a Snoopy necklace all the time until it broke. I haven't worn it since it broken, but if it wasn't broken, I would probably still be wearing it. Uh, but that's the direction I thought I was going to go. And then I realized that it wasn't just about the cartoons or the characters. It was about using words. I can use words to make people laugh. I can use words to make people cry. I can use words to make people intrigued. I can use words to make people understand, relate, and care. And that's what became more important. And as a news writer, as an entertainment writer, as a columnist, as a journalist, um, I just became enamored with that ability. So it's a blessing to have that skill. And the more I did it, the older I got and understood it, I realized how important that is. That that gift.
That I love that answer, that part of your story right there, man. It's you got a bigger call in. You know,
I'm an old war
and I can't
veteran.
get. All right, so my daughter moved to Muskegon Heights for maybe 6 months once, when she
I'm
was
sorry.
going through some struggles and all that, and
Okay.
that place ain't no joke, man. That can be a rough place in some of those neighborhoods, and you're wearing a Snoopy. That's how you got to be the champ.
Yeah, something like that. Um, I have nothing but love for Muskegon Heights. And I tell my kids all the time, it's all good in the hood. Even though when we go
Yeah,
back, they're like, oh boy. But in the late '80s, early '90s, the city was hit hard by um, drugs and crime, and it's never really recovered. And you hear about the murders on the news. You hear about the drug problems, the overdoses on the news. But what you don't typically hear about is the number of people who are fighting diligently to turn that place around and to make it better. There are people in Muskegon and Muskegon Heights that are doing fantastic things, and just to be associated with any of them, to know their existence, it does my heart good. My grandparents moved there from the South in the 1950s. My grandfather was instrumental in the roads being paved in Muskegon Heights. So just knowing that I have, that piece of history in my bloodline, that my grandfather was so instrumental in the in the building of that city in some way, shape, or form, and to go home and see the roads and stuff all tore up, it hurts to see that, knowing that what my grandfather as a black man during that time went through to try to improve the neighborhoods just with having the roads paved, and to see them not be paved anymore in some areas, the holes in the streets, the potholes, the dirt, the grime, the trash. It's ugly, but that doesn't mean that there's not people working to change that around and change it for the better. And they are. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. Shout out to Black Wall Street, Lachey Simmons, and everybody there that are working hard to show a different side of Muskegon and Muskegon Heights. It means a lot.
oh, nice. I want to look that up too. I want to. So is the Black Wall Street that's in Muskegon Heights similar to the Black Wall Street Lansing?
I think the mission is similar. I
Yeah,
don't know what the direction is with the Black Wall Street Lansing. I'm more familiar with the Black Wall Street Muskegon's because it's um, it hits close to home,
yeah.
and
I
I'm a
want.
member of the group. And and I know that Lachey, as a parent, as a business professional, it's important for her to show the community what to show other blacks what blacks are doing because there's so many people with their heads down, and she's trying to get people to pick their heads up. Be
Yeah,
proud of what you are and who you are, and don't think that there's not opportunities for you. Even here, you watching the news, you're listening to the radio, and you're hearing all the bad stuff, but you got to see the good stuff too. And she's getting people to pick their heads up, getting people to believe that yes, I can start my own business. Yes, I can be successful at whatever it is I want to do. Yes, I know that there's a there's better opportunities out there for myself and my children being here in Muskegon. It's not the end of the world. It's not the end. It's not a trap. There is a way out. There is a better way, and it's happening.
yeah, yeah. Hey, I just want to address the crowd a little bit. First of all, K G T. Um, Thanks for being so engaging and commenting so much. And Regina Carey wants to know why Snoopy. What about that dog makes you smile?
Joe Cool,
Yeah.
his alter ego, Joe
Did
Cool.
did you
I
put
adapted that
yourself?
somewhat.
Yeah. All right.
Well, I have been known across certain circles as the word heavyweight champion. So, Snoopy was a writer first and foremost. The Joe Cool aspect of it, that was cool to be able to get T-shirts with Snoopy on it and see my name on it, Joe. But first and foremost, Snoopy's a writer, and that's what really drew me to him as far as a personal connection. He was always creatively trying to complete his story. And throughout the run of the Peanuts, you see him working on whether it was a book or an essay or whatever it was he was writing. It was a dark and stormy night, just trying to complete his story. And that stuck with me. That's all I'm trying to do. That's all we're all trying to do in life. We're trying to complete our story. We know we have a beginning and we know we have an ending, but what's happening in the middle?
Yeah.
That's all we're trying to do. It's just trying to complete the story.
I missed a question a little earlier from Mike Quaj. Hey, Joe, what do you write about for Benzinga stocks?
I write about their conferences and events.
Yeah.
So not so much
All right.
on the stocks and the numbers, but on what their companies and associates are doing coming out of these conferences and events and the engagements.
Yeah.
It's all
So
new ground for me, Kai. So I'm still working on it. I'm brand new to it.
I I always think that what you do every damn day is going to be really obvious. So sometimes I'm nervous to ask it. But what do you do every damn day to push your mission forward?
Well, um, I use words.
Yeah.
That's as simply as I can put it. I use words. I've been blessed to be good with using words, and and whether that's put it on paper or whether that's in having conversations with people like you, using words to be charitable. And where does charity start? Charity starts at home. So that starts with conversations with my wife, with my sons. You know, it's just we're all using words. So that's what I do every day. I
Yeah.
use words.
Do you like written words better or audio, or do you have a favorite like kind of platform right now?
My favorite probably will always be written. I think that um, being able to create something that's tangible. I've said I started online in 1998, so my experience with writing digitally is extensive. But I never lost love for print, and there was a time when people started to say that print was dead, just like they say with a number of things. Rock and roll is dead, hip hop is dead, this is dead. Nah, in certain circles maybe, but is it really dead? No, especially when you still have people who want to use it. People will always read books. That's information that can never be deleted or lost on a digital format. It'll always be there. You can pick it up, grab it, you can smell it, you can touch it. And that's why I like the written aspect of it, because I can still have words printed in hardcover or paper that can last for a lifetime. It'll always be there. When I'm dead and gone, somebody somewhere one day might be doing a story on Busta Rhymes for whatever reason, like a musical essay, Black History Month. Who knows what the reason might be? And they might come across the cover story I did on him for Real Detroit Weekly 40, 50 years from now, but it's still there.
Yeah. I like that. Have you written a book?
Technically, yes. Published? No. I'm still working on it. I'm actually in the process of working on a few books actually. But I have one um completely written that I'm satisfied with to a certain degree, and a couple others that I've written out, but I still need to edit. So they're coming.
Fiction or
Another goal of
nonfiction?
mine. Both.
Both. Nice.
Both.
All right. And I want to give a shout out to, I don't know if the kid's name is Kay or not. He said he was on his mom's account, maybe, but he said he likes to write. He's good at it. Keep writing, Kay, man. Put those words out there. So, and thanks, Luna,
Yeah,
for
Kay, don't
engaging
stop.
with Kay. Yeah.
Don't ever stop.
So we daisy chained the show together, and yesterday Vanessa was on the show, and her son is autistic. So she talked about the struggle with that and how she's had to adapt, and just everything that comes along with that. And her question for you is, what do you think drives this passion to write, to use words?
Can you? I'm sorry. It cut out a bit on
What
my end. Can you repeat that question, Sherry? I'm sorry.
Yes. What drives your passion to write or to use words? You know, what do you think that is deep inside, I guess?
That comes from two places. Probably from several places actually. I won't say two. From several. One is it's just a part of my lifestyle. Two, I'm compulsively creative. I don't just want to write anymore. I have to. And three, again, it comes down to communication. What are we saying to one another? What type of information are we sharing with one another? Because that stuff affects us. It affects us in the movies we watch. That's something that's written. It affects us in the news that we read or hear. That's something that's written. It affects us in the music that we listen to. Also, something that's written. What type of words, what type of phrases and dialogue are we allowing to go inside of us, to get in our ears, get in our eyes, and in our brain, in our spirit? And I'm passionate about using those words because I see it as a means to inspire and encourage and influence people, not just inform them. But in informing them, I can maybe help them or open a pathway for them to think and see things differently. Whether they whether they decide to change because of it or if it influences any change in them, that's up to them. But at least it's there. At least it allows for the thought to happen. And that's something that using words allows me to do. And that's what I'm passionate about. Words are important. Words are powerful. It's all about what words are we putting out there. And I try to put words out there that matter, that mean something in one way or another. Sometimes I write in ways that can be so, I guess cryptic would be a good word to use. And I try to have multiple meanings in the pieces that I write. You're going to get from it what you get from it anyway. I can't make you feel it. Like with a review. Um, what I say objectively about a television show, a movie, an event, or an album, when you hear it, you might not hear it the same way that I do. You're going to form your own opinion. You're going to hear it or see it the way you hear it. But it's how I say it. Can I allow you to be intrigued enough to take a chance? It's all in the
Hmm.
power of words.
Yeah. I think she's really, I don't know if she's in class right now because she's a teacher too. But
Mm,
I think that's going to be a powerful answer to her because one thing about her son's autism is he's nonverbal. So he's never spoken
mm,
before. And so he really, I don't know,
wow.
I think that, we were wrapped up a little bit yesterday when we were talking, and how does he get his thoughts out? How does he, get that escape? Or, Kay, and I don't know if Kay's back or not, but I misgendered them. It's a she, or they are a she, and just saying relieving stress by writing. And then Luna, who's also um, has autism, is he likes to write. He likes the text. He doesn't like the verbal. Um, and I think some of us are built to write, and some of us are not built to write. And there's all kinds of ways to communicate. And I'm glad that you're communicating the way you do. So
I actually got to engage with a family of a child who has autism. His name was Avery. Every year, I participate in this event. It's called Project Cipher. It's created by Ryan Evans, aka High Tide. That's HIGHTYDE. He's a philanthropist, a recording artist, producer. But he created this event. He brings together hip hop artists from across the state and beyond, and they come together once a year to raise money for a child with special needs. And he donates 100% of the proceeds from the show. This is the ticket sales, the merch, everything goes to the family. And one of the shows, I think it was Project Cipher 5. Project Cipher 5 was for Avery, and Avery had autism. So that allowed all of us to learn more about autism. Um, my friend Steven Segovia, Kingpin, came to perform, and he's also part of the Toy Collector Syndicate. And they wanted to provide to bring toys for Avery and for his siblings, but in doing so, they did research to find out what toys were beneficial to children with autism, which was really cool. And um, but all that to say, I wrote a lot of articles and interviews building up to the event, and just being able to create that dialogue and gain knowledge of what autism was and the effects and things. It allows me to have incredible empathy for families who have children who deal with autism. So the fact that he likes to write, whether he speaks or not, he's still communicating, and I think that's wonderful.
yeah. Tomorrow on the show, I have Andrea, and she's like a financial advisor. She's been the director of the IT council for Greater Lansing. What question would you like me to pass to Andrea?
Hmm. What's she like? What's she going through? What's her story?
Yeah, you mean you want to ask me that right now, or
I'm asking.
um,
I'm asking you that.
um, well, I know that she was somewhat recently married, and it's probably, I'm going to look back at Facebook and it was 5 years ago, but it seems like it was not that long ago because I knew her with a different name. uh and I think that, yeah, she's maybe did a career move from running that organization into financial advising and things like that. So we're going to find out more tomorrow.
Um, how has how has technology helped the progression of her life, professionally and personally?
Okay, I will definitely ask her that question, but I'm going to flip it on you too. How has it helped you?
Okay. Oh man, it's helped me tremendously. Again, my career started in 1998 as a writer on a website that was created by me and my brother. It's helped me
Yeah.
tremendously. Technology has allowed me to say things to people that I'll never meet face to face. Same thing with, newspapers and magazines also, but it allowed me to reach them in places that I may never visit in the world. It allowed me to meet a lot of my heroes, people that I admire. Technology has allowed me to tell stories the way that I want it, with with uh, my own creative direction, without having someone look over my shoulder. Like without having to adhere to anyone else's style, but just a place where I could use my own voice, my own way. I mean, Jerry, you were asking me about my writing career, and earlier I'm like, let's keep it positive. But starting out, it was virtually impossible for me to find a writing job because I wrote online. Any writing job throughout the state of Michigan that I saw that was available in entertainment, I applied for. Then the whole 5 year, the initial 5 year run of the Groove Spot, which was from 1998 to August of 1998 to January of 2003. I applied for every writing job across the state I could, especially in my own hometown because that meant something. My family is there. My grandparents, my mother, my cousins, my aunts and uncles could pick up the newspaper and read it and see my name and words in there. But I kept getting turned down. And the reason I got turned down because they told me that the writing I was doing was not credible. I would bring in samples of my writing stuff that I had published online. I would print it out and bring it in for those interviews, for those discussions, and for those opportunities. And that's what they would tell me. That the writing on the internet wasn't credible. And I never let it defeat me. Did it disappoint me? Yes, it did. Did it defeat me? Absolutely not, because it just made me write more. The more they told me the writing I did was doing wasn't credible, the more I wrote. And I wrote thousands of pieces, Jerry. From 1998 to 2003, thousands. Profiles, editorials, interviews, concert reviews, album reviews, thousands. And then the day finally came when I was given an opportunity. I was actually in school. My wife and I, my girlfriend at the time, we were taking a class at MCC. She had talked me into going back to school and taking this class with her. And I had no desire to go back to school. She talked me into taking this class with her, and this writing class, this journalism class, and the journalism class was providing content for the MCC school newspaper. And the first piece I wrote was the cover became a cover story. And Clayton Hardiman, who is like one of the greatest writers from Michigan ever, came and spoke in our class. His son and I are best friends, have been since we were young. But professionally, he's up here. And I was way, way down here, the way I saw it. But he was very supportive of what I was trying to do as a writer, and that I was so diligent. And I just continued to hone my craft. He came and he spoke in the class. I ended up getting a job with the Muskegon Tribune, wrote a couple pieces for them that he saw in a cover story I did on the Showtime at the Apollo. And he just started the conversation at the Chronicle about me writing some pieces for them. Summer 2003, LL Cool J comes to town for the Muskegon Summer Celebration. Here I've been writing about hip hop every day, thousands of pieces for 5 years, right there in our own hometown. They had nobody on staff that had the type of experience writing about hip hop that I did. So they had to come and get me. The kid who was not credible, now is the internet writer. I wasn't a real writer, I was the internet writer. But now here's my opportunity to show them the type of journalist I was. And I got a full page, Jerry. It wasn't just like a little couple inches long review. It was a full page. And I felt vindicated. And it just allowed me to move forward. The Grand Rapids Press picked it up. And next thing I know, I was writing for the press. They offered me a contract, and I've been running hard ever since. That's my story, Jerry.
Eliminating punks, cut them up in chunks. Oh, I'm bad.
You know what I told him, Jerry? I said, "Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario? Bo knows this, what? And Bo knows that, what? But Bo don't know jack, because Bo can't rap. So what do you know?" I was first up.
See, I can't rap, or I'd be going with you.
And no strings attached.
What is happiness to you, and are you happy?
Man, Jerry, happiness is being alive, man. Happiness is being alive. My heart hurts for all the people that we've lost over the last couple of years, just in general for starters. But so these last couple of years, man, we have experienced tremendous loss, and just happiness is being alive. I get to wake up every day and I have an opportunity for everything. Nothing's off the table if you're alive. I have an opportunity for everything. We got a series of articles running on this ENT right now where we're talking about the value of time from all these different people that we've interviewed, everyone from rock icons like Susie Quattro to hip hop icon like Jazz O. It just those conversations, man. How do you explain to somebody the importance of value in their time? It's the question that we asked them. And they all gave very direct, open, honest, and heartfelt answers to these questions. And we've been sharing one a week every Wednesday, 8 a.m. And we're just hoping that people, especially now during the pandemic, will read those words and it resonates differently than it would have in 2018 or early 2019. Like from the start of the pandemic going forward, let those words sit in your spirit, sit in your soul, how important it is to simply be alive and maximize your time as best you can because we have no idea how much of it that we have. So, what makes me happy? Being alive. Happy to be alive every day. Again, it gives me the opportunity for everything.
Well, you're alive, so you must be happy, right? Chris
Yeah.
Pruitt. Chris Pruitt goes by the happiest homeless person. That's his moniker. And he says happiness is never overrated. No matter what you're going through, happiness can be achieved. So,
I agree.
what
I
gives you
agree.
hope?
What gives me hope is seeing people still believing that there's people who care about what happens to them, their friends, their family, their neighbors. That's why I write that column, Shining Example. It allows me to share stories for people to see that we do still care about one another. And we live in a social media society where people spend their days promoting themselves. And for some, you start to get the impression that people only care about themselves. This column allows me to show you that's not true. So, what gives me hope is hearing people, seeing people, watching people, experiencing people, helping and caring about other people, knowing what you're doing, Jerry, at the Fledge every day. That gives me hope.
Yeah. And what you're doing gives me hope and other people hope and kind of spreads that word. That gets contagious too. I mean, hope is like, I don't know, uh, hope breeds hope.
Yes, yes, it does. Um, I wish that some of the people that I've lost personally along the way, some recently, that they could still be here to experience some of the things that have changed in the world that are giving people hope. I know that we've gone through some trials in a lot of areas, especially socially, racially. There's been some horrific things, but because of the way the media and things work now, we see a lot of this stuff play out in front of us when years ago we wouldn't have. Some of this stuff would have been swept under the rug and we would have never known about it. But now technology and the way that we communicate allows us to see these things and allows us to react. And specifically like my grandparents. I was happy that my grandparents lived long enough to see, you know, a dark skinned president. That meant a lot that they survived long enough to see that. But also with the senseless deaths from uh, police brutality, drug use, a lot of different things that have happened. Uh, the abuse of women in entertainment and professional atmospheres, and to see people rise up and fight against that in the movements that have come out of it. come out of that are changing the world. I wish that my grandparents were still alive to see that, knowing what they experienced during the civil rights era, what my grandparents went through, what my mother and father went through, what their brothers and sisters went through, for them to see a world rising up to make things better for everyone, and people fighting and putting themselves on the line. When you see police brutality, just to use that as an example, and um, and to see people knowing what they're facing potentially, but willingly, without body armor, without weapons, to go out in the middle of the street and confront a crowd of police and lay down in front of them. And that's a powerful visual. And I
Yeah.
just wish my grandparents would have been alive to see that. To see, I remember seeing a video of, there was a group of people in the street. There was a group of black people. There were a group of white people, and this guy made like a proclamation to this black dude. Man, he was like, you know, we're gonna stand together. We, I hear what you're saying. We hear you in the struggle and what's happened over these years, for hundreds of years in our country, and we don't want to allow this to happen anymore. And we stand with you together. This is an opportunity for us to unite and fight for the same cause, regardless of the color of our skin, but understanding what you've gone through because of the color of your skin. Even though we're both American, we're not treated the same, and we stand together. We stand with you. I wish that my grandparents could have seen something like that.
I'm sorry about your loss of your grandparents. It sounds relatively recent. Um, I mean, the last few years,
No,
or
it's no, they passed 8 years ago.
oh, so during
They
Obama's.
passed 8 years ago. I just had, yeah. I mean, I just recently had someone a relative very close to me, um, 3 weeks ago. It was a cousin of mine. We grew up more, we were closer than just because we were more like brothers. And he was someone who was very supportive of what I've done, creatively, since I was a kid. This was somebody who fed me hip hop music. This is someone who fed me comic books. This was someone who fed me ideas. This was someone who challenged me creatively because he believed in me. It was hard to see him go. It really was. I'm still I'm still struggling with it. I'm kind of in disbelief at times. Um, but what I got from him is never going to go away. It'll always be inside of me. Yeah,
Yeah.
he'll always be
Thank you for sharing that. And again, I'm sorry for the loss of your cousin. You know, cousins are our first
there. Thanks, Jerry.
best friends, aren't they?
A lot of times, yeah, our Jerry. Thanks for that. That is
Yeah.
very true. That is very true.
Did uh did we forget to talk about anything?
Mm, did we talk about the Black Widow movie is coming out on July 9th?
No, we didn't. But that sounds awesome.
Got to see that. Did we talk about where we could get a really good cheesecake? Could really go for some really good cheesecake.
Mr. Leslie's
Um,
pretty good. He's right down the street. And
I keep hearing that.
with Everything's Cheesecake is a cheesecake food truck. I'm just getting to know her a little bit. So yeah, there's some cheesecake around.
Oh,
Um,
I know something we didn't talk about. I just thought of something.
okay.
We didn't talk about my association with all of the above creative. This group of creative people who supports the All of the Above Hip Hop Academy. I am a proud member of that camp, and just a shout out to them and everything that AOTA is doing in this community for our youth. As it's just so, and Jerry, again, I'm a transplant. and being able to meet other people who were not born and raised or originally from the Lansing area to come here and invest so much of themselves into making the community better and for unity and uplifting the youth. Man, I love being with them, man. They're awesome. They're awesome. Shout out to Jose, Solo, the whole camp. Ruckus, Dustin,
Yeah.
Alan, Lexi, Becca, everybody, everybody.
Yeah.
Carla, Shad, just keep dropping names. Ward, Mikey,
James.
Wise, James. Oh man, I love James, man. James, James makes me smile, man.
James makes me
Him
smile. They all
and
make me smile.
man, him and Shondell, man, SB and their music was really a saving grace during the early parts of the pandemic when it was really bad. Like I listened to a lot of those mixes that Shondell was putting out. James put out that compilation of his some of his best songs.
Hmm.
Man, that music just really helped. I mean, and getting to talk to him, but having their music there, it really helped. And they're just such
Yeah.
great people, man. All
Yeah.
of them, the
We're
whole
very
camp.
lucky to have all of the above, or AOTA is what everyone will call them. Yeah, we're super lucky to have them, but we're also lucky to have um, other. You're saying transplant, so I'm going to stick with that. But transplants like you, I mean, you come in, you make us smarter, you make our brain bigger, you bring experiences to us that we may not have had before. You in particular, you're putting it into words, you're helping to tell our history, you're affecting culture, not just at the present time, but like you said, 50 years from now. What are they going to
Mhm.
Google? Lansing hip hop, Mr. Joe. So we're lucky. I'm lucky to have you on this show, man.
Thanks for having
So
me, Jerry. It's been great. Make sure y'all come out and rock with us on Saturday for the One Mind Esports Conference. It's going to be a great time. It's going to be some great information. I'm sure you're going to get some good laughs because that's what we do. We laugh a lot, but in all seriousness, um, esports matters for more than just gaming. There's there's so much to it, and learning, the benefits of it and what opportunities are out there it's important. So I hope that Lansing continues to support the Proven Esports Group and what we're doing with that. Continue to visit this ent.com and the content that we put out daily. We release something new every day from all things entertainment, the columns, the esports, the videos, the stuff that we share locally. Um, we're just trying to be another voice, but a unique voice among the many voices, and one
and
that encourages and inspires and entertains.
I'm gonna put this out there. Your Twitter feed is really active, right? And I'm gonna just make sure I got your at Mr. Joe Walker, right?
Yes,
Yeah. So go
it's
follow
active.
at Mr. Joe Walker on Twitter, and you'll see a lot of these articles, a lot of these events, all of that. So, right?
You'll
You
see me
like that?
engage with a lot of cool people.
Yeah. Yeah. What would you like to take us out with?
Uh-oh, I cut out again. My bad. My computer's
What?
dumb. Sorry.
No, it's all right. It's all good. Uh, what would you like to take us out with?
Mm. I like to take us out with a song. Consider
Yeah.
this my audition for the voice. Yeah, consider this my audition for the voice. I'm totally joking. I am not going to sing and hurt anybody's ears right now. Here's what I like to take everybody out with. Um, Never forget that we're all connected. We're all in this together. If the earth blew up, the explosion is not going to distinguish people by who they are, what they look like, where they're from, what they believe, we're all going to go. All of us. We're all in this together. So let's do the best that we can to make this place as great as it can be while we're still here for the benefit of everyone around us, be it your family, friends, or people that you don't even know. We are all in this together. We all affect one another by our words, by our actions, by our sentiments. So let's just make the best of it.
So there you have it. Mr. Joe Walker, thank you so very much for sharing part of your story, part of your grandparents' story, part of your cousin's story. Very, very interesting, very moving, and very powerful, and very cool, as Regina's pointing out over there. And everyone, Luna and all you guys commenting and all that, thank you so very much. And I will be back.
One more thing?
You could say 20 more
Can I say
things.
one more thing? Say one
Yes.
more thing, or maybe five more things. Make sure that you're not only supporting thisent.com, Proven Esports Group, all of the above Hip Hop Academy, the Fledge, but specifically some others that I'm a part of. Hood Illustrated Magazine, KC, incredible
Okay.
guy, incredible publication. EMAG Media Group, Corey Blackman, aka Trilla Pertilla, a pioneer in multimedia in the state of Michigan. Doug Sims Photography, Greg Cowboy Johnson Photography, um, BeyondDish.com, Zinga, Urban Magazine, one of the best magazines, urban magazines in the game. People have been very supportive of my career, and some of the editorials that I wrote about George Floyd appeared in that magazine. It means a lot for people to check them out. Also, the National Museum of African American Music. I've had the privilege of writing for them and blogging for them, but the physical museum and what it means, and the content that they share on their website, all of that stuff means a lot. So, my brother CJ Plays, make sure y'all check him out. And I can just keep dropping names, but that's just a few that I just want to throw out there. Make sure you're watching Voices from Vision Success. It's a great show. It's locally made, and you get to hear people in our community and what they're doing. All of that, just support. We all appreciate it. We all appreciate it. Thank you so much on all of their behalves, and any of those shows or publications or websites that I'm a part of. On all of their behalf, I just say thank you for your support.
All right, man. Much love to you. And that concludes every damn day. And I will see you later. All right. I'm in the broadcast. You